I just realized I needed a hobby because my second job started like now. I mean, I just got done driving, so now I'm doing YouTube. But I need a hobby because, you know, you get bored out here. There's a lot of stuff you can do, like that you could potentially have in the truck that you don't necessarily have in the truck. But there's only so many times that you can, like, fucking, you know, like, to the point where you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it again, but it's starting to hurt. All right, so if you guys like that joke, Tom Segura, I actually stole that from him. I put my own little twist on it. I'm not actually, it's just a joke, okay? So fucking calm down if you guys are like, oh, that was distasteful. Ugh. If you laughed at it, then I'd recommend, if you haven't seen his stand-up special, Disgraced or Disgraceful or something like that, it's on Netflix. It's one of his first specials. It's hilarious. I don't think there's any fat on any of the jokes that he talks about in that special. It's funny the whole way through. So we're going to try something different. I'm going to talk about some of the things, obviously you guys saw the title. I'm going to talk about some things that really irk me about driving a truck. I mean, with every job, you're going to come across things that you just dislike and you eventually start to naturally hate about your current job. Just with the short amount of time, the less than a year experience that I have as a truck driver, these are some of the things that irk me, and I encourage you guys, if you didn't hear me talk about it, tell me what bugs you. If you guys are active truck drivers, or things that you guys deal with in your car that you can't fucking stand, I encourage you guys to discuss it in the comments. We can go over it. We could probably make a second video to this. Things that you'll have to deal with while you're on the road. And I've got two different things, like driving and truck stops. And these lists can be hella longer than they are. But I just kind of got a handful of them because I only got maybe about 10 total minutes of footage of what I'm about to show you. Beautiful, beautiful. Washington and Oregon in between. As soon as I start trying to do this video, my wife calls me. So I'll have to call her back. But in between Washington and Oregon, right along the state line, separated by this really sizable body of water, I take the bridge over that body of water and I drive right along the edge of the mountains in Washington state. And it's just driving. Now, granted, it's bumpy and you can see part of the mount and shit. And it's just, I told Google to open the rear camera and start recording, and that's what it does. So I didn't try not to mess with it at all while I was driving because I know they frown upon that kind of shit. I didn't use my hands. So let's bring it up now. We're going to talk about some things that I dislike about the driving portion of being a professional driver. Things that you're definitely going to have to deal with. Coming onto the highway and not yielding to people going highway speeds. They're going to find a lot of people, like four-wheelers especially, that are never conscious about where they're looking. They don't look in their mirrors. They just suspect anybody on the highway is going to slow down for them because fuck everybody else, right? That's how it is constantly, especially near the major cities. They just expect you to slow down even though they have a yield sign and they're supposed to yield until they can get onto the highway. But nobody gives a shit about that. As you can see on this lane road here, there's a one-lane road. That's what I'm on. I eventually come up on an RV that's going, and he can't choose what fucking speed he wants to go. One-lane road, slow drivers, and it also, I can couple in the fact that people that can drive faster than you, but they drive slower than you. Say, for instance, this RV guy. He's not comfortable driving that big vehicle, and he doesn't know how it's going to handle these curves because he doesn't drive it that often. I drive this truck every fucking day. I know exactly how it handles in certain curves. And usually you can just pay attention to what the speed limit sign says. Maybe drop it down 5 to 10 miles an hour lower than what that speed limit sign says, especially if you know how your product is stacked up in the back of your truck. But this guy couldn't choose his speed, 54 miles or 62 miles an hour. He just kept fluctuating between those two speeds. And it really eats up your gas when you're not staying at constant speed in these trucks. And with all these hills and dips and all this kind of shit, you're constantly slowing down, you're losing momentum, and you're wasting more fuel climbing these hills because of people like this. That is something that is a bane of mine, and I'm sure a lot of other truck drivers' existence. Let's see. People that don't use their turn signals, you're going to see a bevy of these people. These guys always piss me off, and usually I'll just, try to rattle some feathers by getting on the CB and being like, damn, they must be out of blinker fluid in this state. Input state name here. And I'll be I'm talking to you, and then I'll say the name of whatever's on that trailer to basically, if their ears are on, they'll hear me talk shit about them. But usually they don't respond because they know they're assholes for not using their turn signal. You're moving a 75-foot fucking vehicle. You need to be turning your turn signal on to let people know what you're trying to do. Especially if you're in the fast lane, you want to get over, but you only go a little slower than me. Obviously, I know you want to get back over because now you got a convoy of people behind you. But if you don't have your turn signal on, I'm not going to slow up for you, dude. Turn your fucking turn signal on. Let people know you are trying to actively get over. I'm just waiting for enough space in front of the to get in front of this person that I'm trying to pass. Which leads me into my next driving point, my next and last one. Not leaving enough room when someone overtakes you. This means this could be truck drivers, four-wheelers, motorcycles. All these people will cut you off with no room. Literally, your seconds that you'll see on your collision mitigation system on your dashboard will say 0.7, 0.5 seconds. That is incredibly close. That's less than 100 feet in front of your vehicle. And there's no reason for it. There's nobody behind them, but they still jump right in fucking front of you. And then you're having to let off the fuel. God forbid you're climbing a hill, so that this motherfucker in front of you doesn't accidentally slam on their brakes, or they mistake the brake pedal for the gas pedal, and then you ram into the back of their fucking car and push them up the rest of the way. So that's one thing you really got to be vigilant about. All right, so we're gonna move on to truck stops. There aren't a lot here either. I think I jotted down about 5 items. I don't want this to be too long of a video. And I need to see what this Buc-ee's place has to offer inside of it. Yeah, I was going to park at a Love's, but they were so damn packed. All right, so the water is cold. Like, even at the hottest setting, it's not warm enough or hot enough to satisfy that nice hot shower they broadcast when you're out in the parking lot trying to get to your shower, right? The water pressure is too low. I found a lot of times when I was at Love's, especially, if there were multiple people showering, which is usually the case because Love's is one of the first truck stops to fill up, the water pressure would jump up and down and be down more frequently than being up. So you're constantly battling to have water pressure, and it's just not good enough. There's a pilot that I was at. It was actually a pilot operated. It was a Bosselman truck stop. A great truck stop. 400 plus parking spots. They got a restaurant. They got endless food choices. Usually, like, they got theater in there. They got about 2 or 3 theaters at the one that I stopped at, and they're all playing different genres of movies. I say theater, it's a projector on a big screen, and there's like theater seating inside. Then they have like 3 different gaming areas set up. I say gaming areas, either satellite TV, or you can plug your PlayStation or your Xbox up to it and play inside instead of sitting in your truck. It was nice. But the shower pressure inside of that shower, it was a great fucking shower, don't get me wrong. It was really nice, like almost marble. It just was very fantastic. But the shower head was something that you would see in a rent house. And I pissed harder than that water came out. So it took extremely long. I get it why they put those water efficient ones on there, so that you are using less water. But if you think about it, if the water pressure is strong enough, it won't take you half as long to take a shower, because the shampoo, I don't have any fucking hair, and it still took me 5 minutes to get all the shampoo out of my hair because of how shitty the water pressure was. Nasty bathrooms. This is mostly the case in TAs and Petros. Like the shit end of the fucking stick. They got so many goddamn parking spots there. The trash is just littered all over the trashy parking lot. There's piss jugs, like literally gallon jugs on the fucking ground. It smells like piss. It's nasty. Like the toilet seats always got piss on them. Or the people don't go in there and clean the fucking bathrooms. They're usually, most of the time, just make sure before you go into a truck stop that you look at the toilet paper holder to make sure that there's fucking toilet paper in there, because you're going to end up 9 times out of 10, you're going to be stuck there hoping that somebody's in the stall next to you willing to pass over some fucking plies, dude, because you're going to be stuck there with some shitty ass. You're going to walk back to your truck with no socks on. You get what I'm saying? So, usually in those bigger parking lots, they don't like changing all the trash cans out, so you got to walk to a centralized location to throw your trash away, which leads a lot of these lazy fucking fat motherfuckers out here to dump their trash just right outside their door. So there's fucking birds shitting all over everybody, just tearing all this trash up, making the lot just trashy as hell. I typically try to park as far away from the store as I possibly can, because because you know these lazy motherfuckers out here don't like walking to the store, so they're gonna try to find the closest parking spot. Fuel island breaks. A lot of these, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'll say a lot of the times that this happens, it's mostly like Indian individuals, the guys that are from Afghanistan type Indian people, Pakistani or Israeli. They are generally the guys that will just sit in that spot at the fuel island, not even pull up. They'll sit there and take their whole 30-minute break, and they'll just take their time. They're on their headset, they're fucking chatting it up, and it's not just them exclusively. It's just anybody that wants to take a 30-minute at the fuel island is a piece of shit. Move your damn truck out of the way, dude. Get out of the way, especially if it's busy. That is horrible, and being at the fuel island doesn't necessarily mean being at the pumps. I'm saying even when you got to pull up, if you are not there going inside to get your receipt or some shit, you want to get something to eat, park your fucking truck somewhere and then go get something to eat. Like, oh man, like, oh, it's so frustrating. But yeah, that seems like a good enough amount of items to cover here. Hopefully I had enough footage to cover the whole thing. If not, then you're looking at me right now. If not, then, you know, I guess I had enough footage. I'm going to go in here and I am going to grab something to eat so I can go to fucking sleep. I got to be up at 4 in the morning. I got to be driving at 4 in the morning. So anyways, remember, just ladies, love it, hit it, fucking ready. Take care, and I'll see you all another time.